Achtung, Achtung, hier ist Alex Wright, and you are listening to Chat, Grapple, and Cheat Pops with JB and Chris Dredd. Enjoy it, or I come over and kick your ass.
What is up, guys? Welcome to Chat, Grapple, and Cheat Pops with me, JB, and the best Chris. Where the fuck is Chris?
I haven't seen him. Right.
Damn. Okay, it's me, JB, and it is the best Matt in all of wrestling podcasts. Cactus Matt for you lot out there. Welcome, sir. Filling in for a holidaying Chris. How are you?
Thank you very much, and may Chris have a lovely time out in Mongolia.
Yeah, Mongolia, tasting that cheese. I don't know. You might have already seen it, you might not have done. We have already broken some news this week. Yeah, that was us. Hell, it might even be wrong. Who knows? What a wrestling weekend. What a week for everyone involved. WrestleMania put on some banging shows. Some other wrestling shows were on. Some of them, we might have a little word about, but, we're here. So what's going on? I know you sat through WrestleMania. You enjoy it?
I did. I stayed up. I said, unfortunately, my PIC had work. So
He did.
Yeah, so that's the first time in how many years we haven't done it? Even through COVID, we did it like this with headsets. But,
yes, on the COVID WrestleMania, we did it over Xbox with headsets, and you got to hear me snore in a headset. So that's something.
But that was the issue I had. So I stayed up. So night one, I watched Stand and Deliver, and then and then sort of like the wife wanted to watch
another good show. Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver was a solid show, and it's a good. I thought it was going to be too much wrestling, and that sounds daft, but I genuinely thought we were going to be like that SmackDown, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver. It was all quite condensed, and then obviously, as we all know, every single sort of smaller company will all flock in on these shows. So obviously you had, I don't know where it was. Barnett's held local to LA.
Sorry, which one?
The GCW Barnett type.
Oh, the Collective. Yeah, I believe that was in LA. It was at like the Ukrainian Center or something like that. I don't know, but all of those shows were held in the same building, so you can imagine the funk and the stink coming out of there. Like, it also laid question to indie wrestling in general, of how it is starting to look the same, and they're all interchangeable and stuff like that. And having a ton of shows in the same building makes it like that. Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know to what degree, because I didn't read the rundowns of what shows and stuff like that. I saw little bits and pieces. And fair play, look, they always, it doesn't matter what show, what town that WWE go to with a big show, the indies can benefit financially from it massively. We see it in this country. I mean, obviously, Clash, it happened.
I think it's how a lot of indie shows survive.
Yeah.
Flocking to the WrestleMania city, the SummerSlam city. If there's one in the UK, they'll run a ton of stuff around there. That's how they continue to thrive and survive. I'm going to skip on to some of the weirdest news and some of the saddest news of this week. I think it was Bushwhacker Butch passed away.
Yeah. And fair play on that one. I don't know if you've seen it already. So they've put up a Just Giving to help his family and to pay. And Chris Jericho was one of the bigger donators of $5,000. Fair play to Chris Jericho. In fact, whenever you see these sort of bits, Chris Jericho always is very generous, and
he is,
stand-up guy, absolute stand-up guy for that.
The weirdest part of this week, as I tagged you in the story itself.
Yeah.
The Guerrero family in some sort of messed up turmoil. Majority of you who were listening would have already seen it. Recapping it is quite a tough one. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, so obviously, once again, we always have to say, I know you guys do anyways, allegations. There was a lot of
course, it's
allegations
alleged.
thrown around about the Guerrero daughter and the stepfather. Obviously, look, it's out there, guys. Go look at it. We don't want to. I'm sure Jordan doesn't want to dive like dumpster
No,
diving, but it's
we're
out
sort
there.
of happy for people to make their own assumptions on this. Vicky Guerrero has come back with a retort, and it is scathing to say the least. And she put it on Instagram. It is a rough read. Go and check it out. Wow, just yeah.
On the flip, Chavo's sort of come out and he's sort of back in his knees.
Yes, Chavo's back in his knees. So, and it doesn't help when stories surface.
Yeah.
Like I saw a video just this evening of Kevin Kelly in an interview from a little while ago. You know, for those that don't know, Kevin Kelly, former WWF announcer, New Japan announcer now. He absolutely buries Vicky Guerrero in an interview, like saying she's a piece of work, she's nasty, she's this. I was like, wow, this is something. I mean, take what you can from that, but it's not a nice story to come out. And Vicky Guerrero has, at this point, had already been replaced as the head of AEW Heels, the women's sort of group.
Okay.
And it's almost painfully obvious that her contract is not going to be renewed in her contract. She's free in July.
You probably won't see her on TV after this. I mean,
is there a wonder that AEW might have already caught wind of this?
To be fair, if they haven't, I'm sure they damn well know.
They know now.
If I was AEW, I would be distancing myself real quick because there's just a lot of general news anyway. Obviously, you got the massive news of Endeavor and the WWE buyout and stuff like that, and there's so much in such a concentrated time period that you'd need a week to digest it.
Hours, absolute hours, you know, a whole week to try and break down every little thing. Regarding Endeavor and WWE and UFC, you know, Vince has come out, he fell in the shit and he came out smelling a million.
Obviously, there wasn't many pictures surfacing around about Vince, and I know he was conscious about the fact he was looking old and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say, anybody who's sitting there dyeing their hair to that degree, and with the pencil mustache looking like Dick Dastardly from bloody Wacky Races.
Dick Dastardly, you know.
It was, I genuinely, because
he's out looking for the Pink Panther, doesn't he? Like
I was going to go for it, but then I thought I've still got meetings tomorrow. So I tell you what, he played a blinder though. Really, I mean, like I think me and you had the conversation about the structure of both of the company with Endeavor and UFC and how it sits, and Dana White's now sitting under Vince.
It would seem so, yeah. I'm sure WWE and UFC will be its own separate sort of entities under the Endeavor banner, but Vince McMahon has a higher job title than Dana White, so he could say, Dana, go get my coffee. Like, you know.
It's very interesting. But you can say, I think you sat there and thought, could you imagine if it, I mean, obviously, just to touch on, you could tell that there was little bits of Vince in Mania. You could tell there was a lot of Vince in Raw, just gone a lot. And gosh, the internet's gone mad about that.
Here's the problem, and I've made this point. I put it online. At one point, someone complained, 33,000 dislikes on one video from, you know, WWE, possibly the WrestleMania clip. 33,000 dislikes.
Yeah.
Which only worked out, and because I did it, because I can be a nerd, it worked out to be 4% of the actual views of that clip. 4%. So that's essentially internet wrestling fans in a nutshell. The smallest group with the biggest mouths. And, you know, I'm sure WWE do not give a fuck.
No.
Why would they?
At the end of the day, you look at it. They got
a 2.2 rating last night for Raw, or not last night, for Monday's Raw.
Yeah,
you know, one of the biggest Raw ratings in months.
You look at the fact of no matter what people say, they still sold out. You know what I mean? Two nights on the trot with 160,000 combined, and they still said they did SmackDown stand. Now, granted, we know that they're flocking to the Mecca at the time, but still, at the end of the day, if people don't, I think you said it quite a few times. If you ain't selling it, I'm not buying it. No matter what, there's something people are buying into, and people could bitch and moan about what Vince is doing and what he has, but look what he did. Look what he built. Now, granted, to get that Endeavour deal over the line, he had to be involved. There's no two ways about it.
It feels like, he had to be a part of it. He had to make his amends and his peace with whatever he has done. Not that it's a good thing that he's done, but he had to put that money back. He had to, to be able to be a part of it and be back within the fold. And he did it. And they sold, or have agreed to sell, that company for $9.3 billion. So he still carries weight, even if he is sitting there possibly screaming for pictures of Spider-Man.
Now, that was good. That was really good. So, well, I was going to go, funny enough, talking about Nemesis and arch rivals, I was going to sit there and go, and you sit there and think, he's sitting there going, well, I may have lost my hair, Trump, but
yeah,
bazinga. It's just crazy. I mean, look, there's obviously amends that's been made with family as well. Shane came back very briefly. Bless him. Hope he actually like father, like son. Recovers well. Bless it, because it did look painful. It's gonna work. Whether people want it, I mean, look, everyone can shit on AEW all day long as well, but whatever they're doing is working for a majority or minority, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, the news that we just broke tonight, we're all going to go. Let's not beat around the bush. No matter where it's going to be, we're going to be there. We're going to be there, and so is every other sort of wrestling fan, because you're not going to sit there and not want to see a wrestling show. I mean, look, we've sat through many an indie show, and this is the indie shows, quite literally. So yeah, I think that, love it or hate it, it's happened, and it's gonna change the dynamic to a degree. It may be a little bump in the road. It may sort of stifle a little bit of the momentum that certain guys and girls had. But I think
the proof will be in the pudding for SmackDown. We'll see what happens there. You've got to sort of give it you've got to give it a minute. You've got to see what happens, see what plays out, see what works. Was I disappointed we didn't see LA Knight on any of the shows? Yes. Am I going to scream and shout about it and cry about it and go online and go, me and my friend Mark are not going to watch anymore? No.
I think the LA Knight thing's quite funny, because I mean, he, like you say, he's phenomenal, and he's got to have a push, because funny enough, talk about phenomenal, like AJ Styles, he's in his
undeniable, yeah.
He's undeniable. He's in that age bracket now as well, where it's now or never, and if they don't sort of push him, he'll get lost in the shuffle. As good as he is, look at Bobby Roode when he came over. I mean, I was elated. I was on top of the world.
Big Bobby Roode guys, didn't we?
Yeah. And then I said NXT, he showed everyone, and then the crossover just didn't work as well. I mean, Gargano's facing that as well, and the crossover for him. That's why he's flitting back and forth. But yeah, like you say, SmackDown. I did sitting there whilst we were talking. I was sitting there before we came on. I said, I was a bit disappointed in Raw. It was a bit lackluster, and but then with all of the Endeavour stuff,
been really spoiled over the last week.
Exactly that. It wouldn't have been as impactful. I mean, Triple H come out and said a really nice bit, but yeah, it just wouldn't have. I don't think it would have had the impact. I think something like I said,
no pun intended, right?
Yeah, I genuinely actually think now it was probably the best call they had was to run it as they was. You know what I mean? Agree with me or don't agree with me, but think about it logically. If you put in someone like, there was rumours like Jay White, and it was I said we had discussions about Cardona, would be because obviously Chelsea being there as well, but they wouldn't have got the shine. That spotlight would still be on the fact of, you know what I mean, the whole deal in the Endeavour and the aftermath of Cody like sort of losing, and yeah, it just wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked.
I think they can be allowed, like the amount of bad shows that get written week in, week out in another company, you would think after they'd run 4 shows in 3 days or whatever it was, you know, a Hall of Fame, all that, they might have had a little bit of a burnout and just tried their best for Monday. A little burnout, like it happens to everyone.
Yeah, and it wasn't horrific. Let's put it out. It wasn't horrific. I mean, I said there had to be something needs to be said about the Endeavour bit. It wasn't like wholeheartedly mentioned. It was obviously the way the speech came across about, you know what I mean, us all being together and how great the weekend was and stuff like that. I mean, Christ, let's put it this way: if you're about to sell and you go, okay, well, although the deal was already done, but going, well, I mean, we're a bit on the fence. That weekend solidified. Well, you've spent money spent, you know, well,
the money, the merch, the sponsorships, everything that comes with it,
catalog, everything. Like you say,
who, you know, people get finicky and annoyed about, you know, the ring post having cinnamon toast crunch on them. Should have been doing that for years. You know, exactly. Yeah. Slim Jim were all over it.
I tell you, and look, you've only got every other sport, and they want it to be okay. It's for WWE, it's sports entertainment. So there is a way to make money, and it's okay. You've got the fact it's an overall sponsor, but look, WWE have been having sponsors in shows for years. They're just being a bit smarter about it and going, well, do you know what? That will cost you 10 grand, but for an extra 5, we'll put your logo on. And as you say, with the rotating and the LED sort of
it's easy
skirts and that, yeah, of course it is.
Absolutely
and
easy.
To have it, I will just, the only thing I would sit there and say I don't overly at times agree with is when they've done it. They had a match on a pay-per-view recently, like a Mountain Dew, whatever it was, wasn't it? And it was all logo. That's a bit different. But having it on the skirts and
the Mountain Dew mega match or whatever it was, you know, which reportedly made them a lot of money.
Oh, like, of course, yeah.
You know, you're gonna do it if they told me and you to, you know, get some strobe lights and some luminous paint and have a little wrestling match, and they were going to pay us 50K. You'd be like, what company are we promoting?
I think we've done it for a lot less, but I'm a bit more inebriated. I've still got the ladder just to remind.
We're not hot dog and handshaking it. That's not our style.
Yeah, no. But, yeah, look.
Which seems like a lot of the indie shows, you know, those deathmatch nonsense and all that. I mean, I know we did. Me and Chris, we very much went over the syringe in the penis bit, but
I saw clips of that, and that was enough for me. I'm sure it's a great watch, but yeah, I mean, but we opened penises. That's the
indie wrestling. Yeah, this is wrestling. Getting back to the indie stuff, yeah, the GCW collective was a great idea in principle. Ton of shows, all in the same arena, building, whatever, but a lot of the same guys were working these shows.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can see the complaint of indie wrestling just being interchangeable. If you're just having the same guys on top or bringing in the same name for the weekend, for instance, Kota Ibushi, great wrestler, but
yeah,
he worked 2 or 3 of the shows.
Yeah, it was minimum 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And ask the question as well: are they getting paid per performance, or paid for the whole day, or what's?
I can imagine it's per show.
Per show, yeah.
Yeah. You know, so like I said, the only one that stood out for me was Bloodsport, and I quite enjoy the idea of it. It's something a little different. Josh Barnett seems to have a really good go of it. The only thing that bothers me is Moxley.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you on that one. He was up against, and I can't remember. You're going to have to remind me the guy's name.
Alex Coughlin.
Absolutely amazing
unit of a man.
Oh yeah, we saw him in Steven. He's at Rev Pro, and obviously he's a bigger guy than sort of Chad Gable. But if anyone doesn't know, this guy can do these sort of stalling,
the Chad Gable moves. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just absolutely. It's pure strength. It's just brute strength, but in such a controlled manner. It is that for me is when you sit there and go, okay, well, why do you like wrestling? I said because it's an art. It's on par at times with martial arts. It's like that's where it's derived from. And when you see guys doing this, it's just phenomenal. You go like, this is it defies logic for a guy to be able to sit there and just casually, and it looks so casual when he does it.
I would imagine some of the submission holds in Bloodsport might have you cringing though.
Okay, you're intrigued to what, but you've got to pull them, and that's the problem. It's difficult to. There's certain holds that obviously that translate well to be able to put in pro wrestling. Yeah. However, and this is where I'm probably going to go away and watch it over the weekend, over our lovely Easter bank holiday weekend, which luckily got the 4 days. But yeah, I'll have a look, because Barnett's obviously a catch wrestler. I've actually watched quite a few of his sort of tutorial stuff. I love that old school catch wrestling style. It translates well to jiu-jitsu. People don't always appreciate or agree with it when you do it to them, depending what their mentality is. But they tried it with Raw Underground, didn't they, for a little bit, with this whole like no rope. I mean, that was on a flat level though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This Bloodsport was in the ring still, but they just took the ropes away.
Yeah.
I suppose, did they have spotters around or not?
Not really. Yeah, the crowd was pretty close to the ring.
Okay.
So like indie shit in it. Like,
did they have barriers? So if they have barriers, or the crowd?
I don't remember seeing barriers.
Okay.
They might have done, but
yeah, I mean,
not something I was focusing on, to be fair.
So, what other sort of bits from that card? I mean, sorry.
Well, from that card itself, Speedball.
But Mike Bailey. Oh,
yeah, Mike Bailey was on there.
Brilliant as well. But yeah, why you remember that? So yeah, but I mean, look, Moxley. To be fair, we talked about it the other day, and I was like, you look at, we've got to rewind, because you look at where he's come from. Okay, obviously the Indies, but he peaked in WWE. He had a great run with the Shield. Once that disbanded, he kind of got his opportunities. His attitude wasn't there. Whether he had outside influences, who knows? But
yeah,
he's.
Sorry, I found it. Jeff Cobb. That was the one. That was the opening match, and I watched it, and he looked good. Like it was the best I've seen Jeff Cobb look in a wrestling ring.
Okay.
I know people think he's great. Like, again, like another one that escaped me for a minute, but it's the perfect place for Marina Shafir.
Yeah, and in fact, actually, when you look at that, if they're going to try and, how can you put it? If they're going to try and combine the entertainment style with sort of grappling, there's so many good. I mean, there's so many crossovers. I mean, you said, and obviously, a lot of them I can only relate with WWE. But I mean, you look.
Shayna, yeah.
Shayna is I want to say 3rd degree. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. She's a 3rd degree black belt. Matt Riddle just got his black belt.
But you know me. I've been a Shayna. I'm a Shayna guy.
Oh yeah,
I've been a Shayna guy since she rolled into NXT. Like, it's.
So we were watching the Raw highlights, and I don't condone this normally, but at dinner time, and my youngest Layla, she was watching it, and they had the women's tag, and they mentioned Shayna, and she can't stand her. Yeah, Shayna's phenomenal. But then you said Shinsuke as well. Shinsuke is just got his brown belt. You've got Karrion Kross. He's just got. I think he's
guys that are off TV and doing.
He's a purple belt. There's a certain indie wrestler, British, who I don't know whether you talk about him much, but it's a certain British wrestler. Used to be part of the Bullet Club, and he just got his blue belt.
Oh, is it he who should not be named?
Well, to be fair, he shouldn't be named, but I still say, like, at least he actually held his hands up, unlike some of the other people in that circle at time. Yeah, so like you say, there's plenty, and then obviously you've got all the other the sort of the Greco guys and the Olympic wrestling guys, Gable, Otis. And there's an abundance on the indie scenes. I'm sorry, I just don't know, like, off the top of my head. There's so because
the main event was Timothy Thatcher and Josh Barnett himself. So
okay, which was a shame because I was really gutted because I went to the Rev Pro show recently that you guys were talking about a couple of pods ago, or a couple of episodes ago, and he was booked for that, and unfortunately couldn't make it. So I was pretty gutted about that. But okay, I assume that was a pretty hard hitting match.
Yeah, of course it was. Harry Smith was in one of the matches as well.
Okay, yeah. Harry Smith is another legit grappler as well.
Big guy, man.
Big guy. Does a lot of grappling as well.
Yeah. So, like I said, Bloodsport stands out because of what it does.
Yeah.
It means a lot more than whacking a mate over the head with 8 light tubes and then pinning him for a 2 count.
I will have to say this, right? Now, we've been to a couple that have had not death matches, but I mean, was you
hardcore matches?
Was you at the one with Abyss they did the whole monster ball match?
No.
Once again, don't judge me, people. I took my daughter to that. I didn't realise they were having it.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've seen a few. We have seen like hardcore matches and stuff like that.
Well, we have. We've seen people do balcony dives. We've seen all that stuff. Like it was.
Yeah.
It was in like.
Yeah.
Like it was a cool thing back then. Like,
but what I don't get is the light tube. So those light tubes have a powder in them that, all right, you'd have to inhale a fair bit, but have got sort of some toxicity to it. Yeah, you see it like you say, 10 or whatever across the ladder, the table. You think that's fitting that. I suppose that's why.
What would you rather do? Inhale the toxins of the light tube, or just get set on fire by a ref?
Oh, and then get thrown out. I saw that.
And get thrown towards the table, yeah. And then everyone turns their back on you to react for cameras.
But you sit there and you think, but it's I don't get it. Are these guys? This will go down a weird path. We've stick on it too long. But are these guys just not good at the art of like professional wrestling, and they feel that this is the extension? Now, don't get me wrong. There is a big difference, people, from sort of like the back in the day of the sort of the Terry Funk and Cactus Jacks, and even to a point the ECW, a lot of the ECW stuff, because it wasn't just light tube smash after light tube smash after. They actually they could wrestle.
They didn't all bleed.
Yeah, they could take that stuff away and they could still wrestle. For the most part, there was a few guys out there that possibly couldn't, but there was a difference. They had a persona. Like, you could sit there and say, "Oh, New Jack, you can't wrestle," but he wouldn't care. He'd smash you up.
He'd beat the fuck out of you. Yeah.
He could smash you in a heartbeat. But some of these guys, and look, all power to you if that's your thing, and I'm not going to shit all over it, but for me, that's not something that I would regularly seek out to watch. I see a lot of clips on it. I normally forward them to you because I know it annoys you.
It does, yeah. He forwards me a lot of deathmatch shit, and that's where I think I'm starting to sound and come across as an old sort of man like Jim Cornette, and who likes his wrestling as his wrestling.
No, but look, I mean, you look, Bret Hart was apparently, once again, allegedly, sort of came out and even was saying about the old fire slaps and that he was obviously front row.
Oh yeah, I think they're stupid as well, but
and there was too much of that, and you can even see that in a little bit, and you see it more so with. I mean, I saw Drew doing a fair bit of it at Mania, but you sit there and think there's always going to be aspects of pieces of the business that people don't like, and I mean, I always like the sort of the mat wrestling style. That's, I mean, I could watch Bret Hart match, Kurt Angle matches for days. But then you look at versatility and what they can do, and if they can do it all, they're not one dimensional. And I think, unfortunately, going back to the deathmatch bit, these guys are pretty one dimensional. There's not many I could sit there and go, oh, they started a deathmatch and now they, you know what I mean? But they could put on a 5-star match.
What's a 5-star match? Something Uncle Dave told everyone.
Yeah, good old Unky Dave.
Yeah, I mean, we've ridiculed fire slaps on here before, like many times. You know, they are what they are. I mean, even the Usos are big, proponents of that.
Parties, yeah.
Yeah, like, is what it is. Like, thigh slap. I've always thought a sort of a standing sort of side kick, martial arts kick would be better than a super kick with a thigh slap. But what do I know?
Well, you know enough, mate. You know enough.
Yeah. Yeah, we had our old coach on the show the other week.
Exactly. He loves a good old meaty fire slap.
Oh yeah. And that's a class you were part of as well. So we can't deny that. You were in that class, in that group.
Yeah.
Taking those bumps.
Good old days.
Getting taken down.
I still do like, because obviously, we've mentioned it before, so I train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and when we do our warm-ups, I love doing sort of like any of the sort of, if you got to do a bit of a bump or we do breakfall rolls like we used to do, but I try and clear the mats at our gym in as little rolls as possible by doing lucha libre diving ones. And having a guy who's over 100 kilos doing diving rolls freaks smaller people out. So
do you wear your mask when you do it?
No, but
Thinking about it now.
Yeah, well, what I do, yeah. I have to send you the picture of the 2 masquerades that was at Rev Pro.
Oh yeah, you yeah, I'm sure you sent me the picture of you with the mask
Okay,
on.
cool, yeah. But yeah, so but it's the same. I think about it this way, right? When the Motor City machine guns, we talk about fire slapping. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually like a lot of their work, but you've only got to look at the fact that they're no sell and it's all fire slap, fire slap, fire slap, fire slap. So
Getting your shit in, yeah. It's not. It's.
I mean,
getting,
granted, they were only
yeah.
10 years ago, but we're not saying it's not new. I mean, even back
But The
when
Rock
Brett
used to do it. The Rock used to slap his
yeah,
thigh on
yeah, that's what I
punches.
say.
Yeah,
Back
which
when
is
Brett was wrestling some of these guys, look, Sean used to do it as well. So it's not new. I think it's just they use it more now. There's certain people, and I mean, Christ, if he thought that was bad when he was at Wales, he should just sit and watch any single one of the Young Bucks like matches, and then come back and go.
Rockies would struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have one of them Welsh cakes now.
So we are going to be in London. We are going to be at the O2 for 2 nights. We managed to secure tickets. We beat the bots. We beat the touts. We got tickets at general price, at whatever price you want to call it, at the retail price, whatever. I don't know.
We were. I mean, to be
we
fair,
scored those tickets.
Oh, I'm not going to look. Let's not go. You did that work, and we appreciate you for that. Chris might not because he's on his own. He's sitting all on his. No, he's not really.
He's on his holidays. He's in Hong Kong or something, right? Mongolia, you said.
Mongolia. He's got Mongolia, but yeah. So
with a stopover in the Ivory Coast.
Yeah. Is he allowed back there?
Yeah.
Okay, because
not after all them people that came forward.
No. Yeah. So like you are right. We are heading up ways, and we apologise to absolutely
nobody. We apologise to nobody. We are going to be merched up, looking like the clowns that we are. Hats, t-shirts, all of that shit. And hell, we're going to have fun. We're going to watch Cody Rhodes win the Money in the Bank. That's not a prediction, by the way. I personally think he is. I think, yeah. I honestly can't think of a better feud than Brock Lesnar for Cody Rhodes right now.
You know what's funny? And I just, while we're throwing random things out there, could you imagine this? How ostentatious would this be if Cody wins it and then Roman comes out and goes, cash it in, do it, I'm here.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's a nice way to look at it. It's very well thought out and
I know.
I mean,
plan. Once again, I can write. I've got ChatGPT. I can always write a storyline for you. Although
I'm just disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed. There's a lot of people on the market right now that didn't get snapped up over the weekend, or there wasn't a plan for them to be a part of this weekend. Hopefully, one or two will turn up on SmackDown, like your Cardonas, like your Nick Aldis, like someone like that. Like,
what do you think Nick's in the running to actually?
Nick's free. He's got. What's he doing? Going back to Gladiators?
Well, he's not going back to BBC. Did you not know about that?
No.
Yeah, so Gladiators for in fact, actually, the American fans should know because that's where it derived from. American Gladiators. We had a British version back when we were proper kids, and then they tried a reboot, and they're rebooting it again. And
yes, they are rebooting again, but I say in jest that Nick Aldis was going to back to Gladiators, but
I think he should. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, you put him. It'd be interesting. Let's put it that way. I mean,
he was too good. He was too good for the NWA. I think he's probably too big for Impact. That's subjective. I know.
Yeah.
He could easily
be
something in AEW. Maybe. Yeah. I think he's someone that deserves his shot in either show.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona has already said that wasn't that thrilled with AEW, so he's.
There's only one option for him now. There's no way. Yeah. In fact, I'm not even going to entertain it. If he's going anywhere, if he's coming out of the Indies to go to one of the big 2, 3, he's going back to WWE, in my opinion. 100%. I mean, and why wouldn't you? I mean, your wife's there. Same as Andrade.
Andrade will be back for sure. Like there is no ifs or buts about that.
And
yes, he might run some shots for Conan in AAA.
Yeah,
but it's so cut and dry. His wife is there. His wife is.
she's taking a break
She
though.
put on a hell of a match.
Yeah, but that I think from
this weekend.
But not only that, if you look, so straight after and I don't know how they're going to do it, and I don't know whether they.
WWE weren't shy about having Andrade on in camera shot.
But same as old
Buddy.
I always think it's Aleister Black, but yeah, he was there.
Aleister Black and Buddy Matthews. Yeah,
well,
Buddy
Murphy's,
yeah, whatever we call him.
Which was funny as hell, because to be fair, like they had to camera angle that one properly.
They had to keep him out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm gonna say, I think Dominic's grown on me massively. I think that he had I know you've seen clips and that, but he had a spot with Bad Bunny, and that was really good.
I think Dominic really grew over the whole, prison time sort of thing. Yeah.
Say you've watched the workout. Sheamus does all these workouts.
Yeah.
Different. Have you watched that one?
I don't know. I haven't seen that one.
Please watch it. It is hilarious. It's brilliant. It's worth, even if like you guys don't like exercise or whatever. Please watch the Dominic with six. Well, yeah, I know you can.
I don't exercise.
Dominic and Sheamus bit on it. It's on YouTube. It had me creasing up. And to be fair, off the back of it, it's actually quite a simple workout, but the way it's done, it's a killer. And Sheamus will definitely. He definitely agrees with that. It was I was creasing up at that. But yeah, there's a lot of AEW guys that were featured. I don't know. It's just one of the things that, like we said before we came on, a lot of the women seem to be disgruntled in WWE. So I mean, could this be a time where we start seeing a lot of like what it used to be called the draft? Could it be a case of we see that, but it actually happens not in a promotional one?
Well, here's another one. The Sheets had suggested that the grizzled young veterans had requested their release and were granted their release, and then they showed up on TV.
Didn't make a lot of sense. It didn't make a heap of sense. And while we're talking about sort of tag teams, I mean, these are the two English guys. They're pretty deadly.
Yeah.
Absolutely top class.
They were really good at stand and deliver. Yeah.
And stand and deliver,
yes, boy.
You know what? To reignite. Obviously, it was cool to see KO and Sammy win the titles, but they're not gonna. Let's be honest, they're not gonna be a tag team for long term. They're two really well established single stars. It's the same as when they put Sheamus and Drew.
It's the same when they put any singles stars as tag team champions. It doesn't last for long. Rock and Mick, or Austin and Undertaker were tag champs for a minute, weren't they? Like all those times, you had top guys being tag team champions. It only lasts a moment. It doesn't kick on, and they don't stay champions for 600 days like the Usos were. Like,
but that's when I look at people like, I mean, you look at these tag teams like Pretty Deadly. They have won. They obviously, when NXT UK was a thing, the champs there came straight across, picked up the tag team straps in NXT on their first night, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they'll do. And then they're really entertaining. Like they're so.
I am worried that someone like if Vince was to get his paws on to act like Pretty Deadly, he'd turn them into some sort of weird, over and above the over the top thing they're doing now, like, and write some pretty shit naff stuff for them. Like, I want to put this question to you last.
Go on then.
Because we're not, like I said, we're not recapping WrestleMania. We're not doing that. Like, Chris, despite being in Mongolia,
he still got that carrier. He got that carrier pigeon all the way here. I don't know how.
Has to be a part, of this, of the WrestleMania review. I put it to you that Cody was never meant to be the one. Has the story always been that main event Jay was meant to be the one?
You know what? You could be right. I mean, yeah.
Has that story always been about Jay?
Yeah. I think there's some more not mind games, but it's something. Somebody's got to get behind him to sit there and push him for that as well.
Well,
So
Roman's going to have to berate those guys for losing those titles
of course,
anyway.
yeah, and that's the build from what you could tell. Obviously, for those who watch Raw, you had the fact that sort of the wise man come out and said, "Look, don't worry about it. Solo and Roman have got it tonight and stuff like that." Obviously, Brock turned on Cody, but yeah, look, that's not a bad shout.
The only other thing is that Roman's keeping Solo that close because he knows Solo can do so much damage. And Solo can be, very. Like, I think Solo's got ridiculous babyface potential. I don't know why. I just get that feeling that Solo has.
To Margaret, I think it's so. And as I said, not to sound like sort of soft now, but it's an endearing. It really is. The tribute he's paying in his work is it's such a nice thing to see.
Yeah.
And he's pulling it off. He's putting it off, like I said. Solo's going to be huge. Well, and as I said, his rise is really quick. But yeah, look, I mean, you like say that you could have the Brock and Cody feud going on for a bit in the background and stuff like that. So that keeps two guys. Whether Brock's is anything.
I'm just curious to see if Jay is meant to be the one. He always had.
Oh yeah, he's always had the green eye monster in it. Yeah,
he's always had the green. He's always had the backing as well. He's always had like the fans have always wanted to like Jay. Showing that when he hugged Sammy before he turned on Sammy as well. Like they want to believe in Jay.
But we know 100% it's going to the 1,000 days. So it's like when's that gonna? So unless you're going with Cody gets money, gets the briefcase. Why doesn't Jay get the briefcase?
See, now you're just teasing me because I want that to happen.
You do because
I want Jay or Jimmy
somewhere in your blood,
Solo to take the case. I think
Jay could get it. I genuinely do.
And yeah, he just takes nothing but shit from Roman for winning that case. You're going to cash on me, Jay? You're going to cash in now?
I don't even think he'll do that.
No, like you said, Cody wins it. Roman comes out and says, "Come on, then do it." What if Jay wins it?
I think he'll sit there and go, "Well, obviously, congratulations, blah, blah, blah." He goes, "But you're not surely because it's for any title."
Yeah.
So he'll go, "Are you going to go for this title?"
Yeah.
And then he might sit there and go, "Okay, you obviously blood, you're not going to do it, rah rah rah."
You're going to take Gunther. You're going to take Austin Theory. Yeah, like.
Or think about it this way: it's only a year contract. As soon as it runs out or is it? I don't know because it used to be.
It used to be the year, yeah. Like you never know.
It was Mania to Mania, weren't it? But now it's a bit different. Now look, could you see? God damn, you see, look, that last question just skilled you now, isn't it? Could you see them? How long could they run that for? Because it's been that then reignites it slightly, and then it could start building a building. Could it build from like July 1st all the way to April? Could it be Jay main event WrestleMania Uso? Or you scrap the money in the bank this and how many wins a Rumble? But bear in mind, you've got to hope to hell that no injury. Hope, you know what I mean?
No injuries, no one breaks through. Yeah, it's there's a lot of ifs and buts in that.
You've got Braun Breakers coming this year, no doubt about it.
I don't know. I think, I think he's got to lose that feud with Melo.
Yeah,
he's got to lose that feud.
He's coming through this year. I put money on it.
I don't see where Braun would go after feuding with Melo if he's been to the top. There's no point pulling him down the card in NXT. He would have to. I mean, what a spear he's got as well. That's a great spear. I think the way he presents himself, I love the fact that once again, was another person who fully acknowledges his heritage. Although, I was about to say, right, so you know about that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's. So I say too much to digest, isn't there?
There was so much going on over that weekend. There was all kinds of nonsense. If you looked online for more than a minute, you'd see all the craziness. People stalking other people at WrestleMania, taking pictures of other people's kids and stuff. Like, what the hell's wrong with these guys? Just, we're all wrestling fans. Let it be. We're all a little weird anyway, right? Because you're a wrestling fan. Everybody gets it. But you don't have to go over and above weird to... It's not the place to be picking rows or picking fights or trying to, score points online because you hate this guy and all your friends should too. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
yeah,
just wrestling.
I mean, hopefully, I know it definitely didn't for me. It didn't distract from what was overall, and to summarise, a really good, solid weekend of wrestling. Whether it was, if you like your indie stuff, whether it was the GCW running 12 shows in a night or whatever they did, or WWE putting on, yet again, flawlessly putting on a great show. I mean, just not to review, but just look at the quality, the staging, the set, the pyro, the few. I mean, talk about that another time. A few bits of celebrities in there, but some of them we use well, some of them I don't think.
Some we use perfectly. Some even carried a segment out of the shitter. Like it's
yeah. I mean, a little part of me oversees, and before I say I love the Miz. The Miz is one of my favourite all-time wrestlers. Full stop. But you can tell he got potatoed a fair few times that night.
He had a rough weekend, which is why I think there was a lot of like in his Raw promo. I think there was a lot of like a lot off his chest.
I tell you what, you look at guys like him and Seth. They're the go-tos. They're the
timers,
yeah. They're the guys that like always get that call up when they get like someone come in and go, okay, look, they're only going to do X amount. They're the guys that are trusted with these huge stars. I mean, fair play. We'll talk about a little bit. Fair play to KSI taking that
over a table. Yeah,
I mean, he's probably padded up to hell. To be fair with that.
Well, yeah, that suit was padded to fuck, but yeah.
I was creasing up when that was on. But yeah, it was a solid weekend. So hopefully now we just start seeing it build. Next one's what? Backlash at Puerto Rico.
Backlash in Puerto Rico, hosted by Bad Bunny. Yeah, that's right.
Bad Bunny, yeah.
You've also got this is recorded as of Wednesday, so tonight is AEW with the big announcement that we have already broken ground on. Ring of Honor was on Friday night, same time as SmackDown, and that SmackDown did massive numbers. Ring of Honor, they will tell you that Ring of Honor did great numbers and it was a wonderful show and all that, but I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen the whole show. There was a lot of wrestling on that weekend. Yeah. It wasn't a great show. There was a lot of bigger indie names on it.
Yeah,
and they went through. They got their shit in, but got to be better. There's got to be more to it than flip, kick out.
Well, not only that as well. It's like I remember, and I don't watch a lot of it now at all, Ring of Honor, but I remember watching it back in the day, and the old, the Code of Honor, and that, it's all that. It's all forgotten. It's all that's what made that company.
What made it stand out.
Exactly. I mean, and that's why it produced the stars it did. But now, funny enough, whereas that used to be a cultivating ground for new talent, a bit like what NXT to a degree did when it first launched, it's now turned into this is where it's a rotation now, isn't it? This is where, like, when we've got certain, like, I don't know, Jericho's on top. Well, what are we going to do with a Moxley? I'll put me on ROH. You know what I mean? It's just who's going to break out of there that you sit there and go, oh, yeah, they're going to be the next big thing, because you already know they are to a degree.
Yeah.
To a degree. But yeah, a lot of wrestling. Bits to come. Said I might catch a bit of AEW, but
for once, for the first time in a long time, I'm not all wrestlinged out after WrestleMania. I feel like I need to watch more. Like most of the time after WrestleMania, you feel pretty jaded and you're like, oh, okay, let's have a break. But I'm not feeling that way at the minute.
Well, that's good because you've got a fair few days off to watch wrestling. No,
yeah, I am off the Easter weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Are we going to ignore the elephant in the room then?
There's no elephant in the room.
No, well, so for everyone out there, as JB just said, this is going out. Well, we're recording this on the 5th of April, which is a Wednesday, and somebody is celebrating a birthday tomorrow.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I am celebrating a birthday. It's me. Yeah. Birthdays are always fun. I get to chill out and do nothing. It's great.
Exactly.
I think with that, we should wrap this. You've got wrestling to watch now.
Of course, yeah.
Maybe a minute to play a game or something.
Yeah.
And I've got to, do these things because, you got to pay the bill somehow. Massive thanks to Surfshark, who are up in the corner somewhere. 83% off plus 3 extra free months if you sign up to their 2-year plan. It is a good plan. It's a very well-structured deal. You can't complain. Big Brother is always watching and trying to dip into your shit. So get yourself a VPN. Make them look at someone else.
Get your shit in.
Yeah. Get your shit in. Yeah.
Get your shit in and keep their shit out.
This week, I would like to say thank you to the wonderful people of Australia. You keep us relevant for some reason. Ireland, you're slipping. We fell out of your charts. What are you doing to me? Mongolia is not anywhere to be found. I think Chris is maybe doing some good promo work out there. Yeah. We actually did go back into the British charts. So, fish and chips all. Yeah. Fish and chips. Sunday roast. You just got to say British things. Maybe it just gets them,
Tea. We all like tea.
I love tea. I love tea.
Bank holiday weekends. We all like them.
We do indeed. And there is one.
And in this beautiful country at the moment, we have got lots coming up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bank holidays coming up. Yeah, craziness. Yeah,
I'm not complaining. Back in the day, I would have.
No, of course not. So yeah, Ireland, Australia, Britain, all that stuff. What was there? There was one more. Yeah. If you're watching us, hit that subscribe button. I actually do believe this is just going to be a video. I don't think we're going to put this on the listening stuff. But if you do prefer to listen to us, you know where to find us. Leave us a 5-star review. Just because, you don't even have to like it 5 stars. Go full melt, so give us 6. With that, I say thank you. Where the hell is Chris? I'm still looking for him. Yeah, he's not under your table, is he again?
No, he's definitely not. I'll check the closet in a minute.
Oh, Chris, I don't know what to say, mate. I might even title this the Where's Chris episode. I'm JB. Next to me is not the best Chris in all of wrestling podcasts because he's taken holiday. It is the best Matt in all of wrestling podcasts. You will know him as Cactus Matt. You will shout that if you see him in London over the Money in the Bank weekend.
I was about to say, please say that because I work in and out of London, like randomly on the street. But yeah, London.
I want to hear Cactus Matt.
I might even wear a flannel for it. Oh,
that would be nice. Not the purple flannel that Dominic wears.
No, I can't take it. I might be affiliated with this gang. Yeah.
Maybe we'll put up a poll. Should Matt go in Dominic Mysterio cosplay?
At one point, we had the hair nearly. I nearly had the hair for that. And he has got magnificent hair. Yeah,
he's got beautiful hair.
Beautiful.
Right. Enough of the hair talk. Thank you so much for watching. I'm JB. That's Cactus Matt. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. We will see you soon.